Thank you very much, Mark. It is a beautiful evening so far in Kharkiv, but we were warned earlier in the day to expect a huge storm, thunder and lightning. We've actually got a plastic sheet in front of us, and one of the stewards said that he'd be putting it over our heads if the storm comes this way. At that point, Jan, you will duck out and tell people on 5 Live in the World Service what's going on.
You never leave your station, you know that, Alan. To the end we'll be there.
Here they come. Holland to the left in their new strip. Oh, it's all orange, of course, but it's a subtle toned orange shirt. And Denmark all in white tonight. Moving to our right, the two captains, Mark van Bommel of Holland and Daniel Agger for Denmark. They're lined up now. The referee, by the way, is a great friend of Arsene Wenger's after what happened in the Champions League this season, Damir Skamina of Slovenia, but we'll not go there. For the moment, Jan Molby isn't joining in the singing of the Danish national anthem, but if Denmark score, trust me, he will sing. Now for the anthem of the Netherlands. As a neutral, I have to say that is always one of my favourite anthems. The Dutch, so emotional, so moving, and they're big time players, but so too are their opponents tonight, Denmark. And I'll say this just once, and it might be completely irrelevant, it's 45 years since Denmark beat Holland.
Is that all, Alan?
45 years.
It only seems like yesterday. We did, of course, beat them in 1992 on penalties, so we'll take that one as well.
You'll take that one.
But inside 90 minutes, yes, I'm well aware of that.
Let me give you the two lineups. First of all, Holland. The goalkeeper is Stekelenburg of Roma. A defensive, Van der Waal of Ajax, Heitinga of Everton, Vlaar of Feyenoord, and Willems of PSV Eindhoven. Then two holding midfield players, Van Bommel, who's moving from AC Milan to PSV, and De Jong of Manchester City. Then a forward three of Robben from Bayern Munich on the right, Schneider into Milan in the middle, Afellay of Barcelona on the left, and finally the imperious Van Persie in our questioning of whether Huntelaar should play tonight. It's got nothing to do with Van Persie's skills and right to be in the starting lineup for Holland. Denmark's goalkeeper is Andersen of Evian. Their defence from right to left, Jakobsen of Copenhagen, Kjaer, who officially is with Wolfsburg but is on loan to Roma, Agger of Liverpool, Simon Poulsen of AZ Alkmaar. Then their holding midfield players, Zimling of Club Brugge, Kvist of Stuttgart. Then the attacking midfield three, Rommedahl of Brøndby, Eriksson of Ajax. We're still looking forward to seeing what contribution this 20-year-old can make to this European Championship. And Krondelli of Brøndby. And finally, Nicholas Bentner. Bentner, we only tease him. It's all a bit of a laugh. It's like the number he wears at club level, etc., etc. He doesn't mind too much a tease.
No, absolutely not. I mean, he's got a great sense of humour, but he knows what he brings to this Danish team. His record playing for Denmark is exceptional. He's a very important player. Physically, they did tests before they came out here. It's the best condition he's ever been in physically. I'm really looking forward to him. I think he'll cause Heitinga and Blah a lot of problems.
The stadium isn't full. There are gaps all around it, but of course the predominant colours are orange and red. Mostly orange, it's got to be said, Jan.
Yeah, and that's not a surprise.
Phenomenal following.
They were expecting 10,000 Dutch. I don't quite think they've made their numbers, and there's only 1,700 Danes, but that's enough.
Germany and Portugal to come later, but this is the way Group B starts, and it's Van Persie who will be starting off this game here in Kharkiv, which is only 25 miles from the Russian border, and if he's naughty, I'll nudge Jan over it. He may never be seen again. The referee still waiting, presumably from television, to tell him it's all right to start. It is 7 o'clock in the evening here. We're 2 hours ahead of you in the United Kingdom, and we're underway. And the ball immediately played back to De Jong, and that was Zimmerling just announcing his presence to Wesley Sneijder. The referee spotted it, didn't stop play because the Dutch have possession, but he had a word in Zimmerling's ear. And he is a tough cookie, isn't he, Jan?
Yeah, and I also think Zimmerling was probably just testing his toe a little bit. He had a problem. I assume he's had a...
So he just kicked at his calf and said, I wonder if I could feel that.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not?
I mean, no doubt he's had an injection. But yeah, he just raked down the back of Sneijder's leg just to let him know the Vikings are here.
Jakobsen with the throw in for Denmark on the far side of the field. That's the Danish right. It comes back off a Dutch head, and then there's a foul in favour of Denmark. That was De Jong just barging into Jakobsen. So it's a free kick to the Danes, somewhere around 40 yards from goal. And immediately it's going to be taken on the far side of the field by Willems, who's wearing... Poulsen. What am I talking about? Willems. It's Simon Poulsen. A left-footed player, so he's swinging in this free kick towards Stekelenburg goal, and it's headed on, and Stekelenburg gets his hand to the ball. The header was from Daniel Agger.
Yeah, it's something I know I've mentioned it twice already in the build-up to the game, but it's something that Denmark's worked very hard on his set pieces. You know, they feel, especially when they send the two centre-halves forward, that they are the bigger team.
The two sides have met in their opening game of the World Cup 2 years ago in South Africa. That was a game in Johannesburg. Holland won 2-0 that night. Agger was credited with an own goal, but it was really Simon Poulsen's fault, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was indeed. Yeah, when we talk about that, we always mention the mistake by Simon Poulsen. Then Dirk Kuyt got a late second.
What a great crossfield ball by Willems, picked up by Robin down the near side, the right, and he moves forward, slides the ball in towards the full-back Van der Waal, but challenge came in. The ball breaks up off Agger, out of play for a throw-in to the Dutch, about 6 or 7 yards from the corner flag, near side of the field. I don't know where the Dutch got the tickets from, but there are spots of orange all over the ground. Throw-in is taken. In it goes to Robin. Robin back to Van der Waal. And here's an opportunity for the shot, driven in over the crossbar by Willems.
Yeah, as you expect, the Dutch push their fullbacks forward. Just got a man over on the left side, and he's hit this ever so well. He just rises over the crossbar.
Good buzz. It's still quite warm. I mean, for 7 o'clock in the evening, the temperature can't be much below 80.
No, it's maybe just a little bit too warm for football.
And high humidity as well here in Kharkiv. Ball's played upfield towards Rommedahl. Rommedahl heads it infield, but Eriksson's not there. Eriksson still to get his toe on the ball. It's with Willems, the left back for the Dutch. Left now, and they move it into the centre circle. Van Bommel, the captain. Back it comes now to Heitinga. Heitinga to the near side and Van der Waal. And now it's on to the other central defender, Vlaar. Preferred to Matthijssen tonight. Matthijssen's form has not been the best. But then neither is Schneider's form.
No, that's right. Schneider's been, obviously due to injuries, he's been very much in and out of the Inter team. But I think it's 2 years since he's played his best football. The season when Inter won the Champions League, and also Holland got to the World Cup final.
Another ball aimed towards the Dutch right, towards Robben. I think that Simon Poulsen's going to have a busy evening. Poulsen hits it out of play, throw into the Dutch, taken quickly by Robben, almost found Van Persie. Ager got there first. Ager clears, deflects off the Arsenal striker, but headed away safely for Denmark. Eriksen still can't get a touch on the ball, and Holland have it again. It's with Schneider. Schneider to Afellay. Back to Schneider again. He's in the centre of the Danish half. Back to De Jong. And on it goes towards the far side via Afellay to Willems, the fullback. Afellay once more. And this is good football from Holland. Schneider. Now, Robben pops up on the left-hand side. Crosses, takes a deflection. Deep header down into the 6-yard box. And a shot at goal for Holland by Afellay, but it's well wide.
Yeah, not particularly great defending by Denmark. First, they allowed the cross in from the left, and then at the far post, Poulsen has to do better against Van Persie. Chance for Holland.
You're listening to 5 Live of the World Service here on the BBC. Holland 0, Denmark 0 at the Metalist Stadium in Kharkiv. Later on 5 Live, you'll be able to hear Germany and Portugal. What a magnificent group this is. And that's the beauty of the European Championship, Jan.
You're going to get groups like this.
You
Absolutely.
can find groups like this.
Yeah.
It would be no surprise for any two nations to qualify from this. Any two of the four. Now, Crondelli couldn't keep possession. Eriksen wins it back, but to do so, he fouls Van Bommel, and it's a free kick to the Dutch. Beautifully clear sky at the moment. Just a few puffy white clouds, but nothing to trouble us, and no sign of that alleged storm. Schneider slipped the ball to the left side to Robben. Robben started on the right. Now he's popped up on the left. There was a foul tackle there by Zimling on Schneider. And that's the second time, and the referee from Slovenia saying enough of that.
Yeah, I think so. That's exactly what he's telling them, is no more. But it is Zimling's game in closing people down, very mobile.
A bit like this man's, De Jong's. After the Dutch free kick, the ball comes out of Zimling, out of play for to Holland on the far side of the field. And Willems, the left full-back, to take it, a fraction over the halfway line. And he launches it long, headed away by Kjær, and knocked to safety for Denmark over the halfway line, but talking to players who haven't hit the ball yet. Nicholas Bentner.
Yeah, there's a couple in the Danish colours who hasn't really got into the game as of yet. Just get the sense that Denmark are trying to feel their way into the match.
And the Dutch fans singing. They're not singing Netherlands, they're singing Holland. That's why we're calling them Holland. There's been a try at Kings Park in Durban. Ian Robertson.
First try of the match scored by fly half Mornestein after intense South African pressure. They lead 11-6 with the conversion still to come.
Thanks very much, Robbo. And now it's with Schneider in towards Robben. Robben crosses, deflected Van Persie, who shoots wide. First clear chance of the night.
Yeah, it was. They got a little bit lucky with the cross. I think it was from Robben, comes up one of the Danish defenders and just falls to Van Persie. And as we see it again, there's a picked up Huntelaar on the bench. I mean, from the moment Holland got to the stadium, he just did not
see
look
him getting
happy.
off the coach. You knew that he wasn't in the starting eleven.
Absolutely, he did not look. And that's the problem you got when you got so many good players. Egos in the dressing room, everybody wants to play.
Well, that goal kick was taken short and somewhat perilously by the goalkeeper.
But Denmark wants
Andersen.
to play like that, Alan. You know, and Holland are trying to force them to go long. Denmark wants to play from the back.
Well, Jakobsen sees the ball for the third time from the goal kick, and now he clears it long. And that's good control by Crondelli, who's come in from the left side temporarily. Now it's with the left full back, Poulsen. On to Nicholas Bentner. Romadal's free in the far side of the field. Or is it going his way? No, the pass was infield, but then Bentner picks it up, and he's foul tackled by Vlaar, and this is a free kick in a good position for Denmark.
Yeah, he read that well, Bentner. It was a poor pass forward by Zimling, but Bentner just caught the defender Vlaar off guard. It's a free kick. What are we looking at, Alan? 28 yards out?
That is certainly within shooting range.
Absolutely.
Without question.
You'll have Ager, Eriksen. They'll both fancy this one. Simon Kjær's got a bit of a rocket on him.
Well, Ager's got a fantastic shot. And no rendition of the national anthem if this goes in. Yeah. You just you've got to hold back.
If this goes in, Alan, I can promise nothing. You might never see me again.
So we get Kjær, Eriksen, Ager. My money's on the Liverpool player.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I think you might be right. But let's have a look. There's 6 of them around the ball.
Eriksen, Ager. The biggest run-up would be Kjær's. Who is it? They're looking amongst themselves. I'm sure they know exactly who's going to hit it. The referee still concerned to get the Dutch wall back the full 10 yards. Stekelenburg, beware. 8 minutes played. It's Eriksson shoots straight into the wall. Rebounds to Kvist. Kvist hits it into the penalty area, but was that clever play by Willems? He shaped as if to head the ball, then he just allowed it to go over his head behind for a goal kick.
I just think from 28 yards, Alan, you need power. You're never going to be able to lift that over the wall and the goalkeeper not be able to get across. So I think you need power from that distance.
Do you perceive that Stekelenburg is a weakness?
Yeah, I do actually, because I was talking to somebody when he was at Ajax and they say, funny enough, mentally he's very, very weak. It takes nothing. Things go against him. It affects him for a long, long time.
Here's Vlaar, one of the two central defenders for Holland.
But of course, unless Denmark gets anywhere near his goal, it's not going to be a problem.
And now Heitinga, who had a wonderful season at Goodison Park. Heitinga on towards Robben, hard by the touchline. Great play by Arjen Robben, getting it back to Van der Waal, and it goes to Van Persie. Van Persie now to Sneijder, 30 yards out, on to Afellay, just to the left of the penalty area. Now into the penalty area, shoots and didn't get it down quickly enough. Glanced over the crossbar behind for a goal kick, but it's been a really bright opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, it has, and no surprise Holland is on top. I think the problem they got is that Kvist, who's one of the holding midfield players, is also trying to look out for where Robin Van Persie is going to pop up, and it does allow Sneijder an awful lot of room.
Again, that goal kick was taken short. Kvist, I'm not even sure he collected possession outside the penalty area, but clearly Denmark don't tend to use goal kicks to hit it long. But they've given away possession there rather carelessly. Van der Waal of Ajax, the right fullback for Holland, into De Jong, and on now to Van Bommel. De Jong once more. Van der Waal, 2-3 yards in from the right touchline, to Nigel De Jong, involved in the action for the third time in a matter of seconds. Back to Heitinga. Here's Robben, who started really brightly. De Jong once more, on to Van Persie. Van Persie steps away from Eiger. Van Persie then slipped the ball in towards Sneijder. Sneijder with a header back across goal instead of heading at goal. Well, opportunity.
Yeah, it was an opportunity. I mean, you're never surprised when Sneijder's involved, but as I said before, he's just allowed too much room. The holding midfield players have got a real problem whether they should go close and tight on him or allow him for the centre halves to pick him up.
Well, there's been no real break in play. I mean, it's been a bright start. Maybe there'll be opportunities later to tell you about the holiday camp that we're confined to about 30 minutes outside the city. There are a few stories about this place. Here's De Jong though, to Van Bommel, and Sneijder again. Holland will be happy that he's been heavily involved in these opening 11 minutes. Still Holland 0, Denmark 0 in Kharkiv. Willems into Sneijder again. Holland have begun the brighter of the two without question. De Jong, another excellent pass to the right side. Good control by Arjen Robben once more. Robben faced now by Simon Poulsen and faced by another player, Clondelli. Flicks the ball forward to Van Persie. Van Persie had an option to his right. Moves infield, and that was a foul tackle by Zimling according to the referee, and Zimling is very close to being yellow carded.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those again, isn't it? You just know what Van Persie's looking for. He's got a great way of receiving the ball. He comes inside, and again Zimling just comes across him, just catches him, and this is closer than the Denmark free kick before, and of course Holland's got Van Persie.
They've got Sneijder there and Robben, but Van Persie's going to take the responsibility. What is it, 4 or 5 yards from the edge of the Danish penalty area? We played 12 pretty exciting minutes here in Kharkiv, awaiting the first goal on 5 Live in the World Service on the BBC. Anderson worried, standing on the Danish goal line. Now moves position towards the right hand upright. Van Persie, if he can get this over the wall, there's an awful lot of empty goal to aim at. Or will it be Sneijder? Sneijder runs over the ball. Van Persie shoots very weakly. What a disappointment from him.
Yeah, it was as poor as Eriksson's free kick at the other end.
Oh, good play again by De Jong. De Jong finds Sneijder into the penalty area. Now with Van Persie. Van Persie plays it back, but has it gone behind for a corner? It has.
I think Denmark's biggest problem, I mean, a couple of weeks ago they were beaten 3-1 by Brazil in a friendly, and they were real lacklustre, lacked any tempo, and that's how they started here tonight.
Good start for Holland. Scored the most goals in qualifying, 38. Hardly mean. Sneijder to take the corner from the right. Plays it in very deep, headed away by Kjaer. That's to Van Bommel. Van Bommel steps away from man who should have marked him better, and then Van Bommel rather selfishly lashes a shot in the general direction of goal, but it's high and wide. Let's get an update of the cricket at Edgbaston. England against the West Indies. Pat Murphy.
Marlon Samuels still holding firm. He could be in sight of another 100 in this series. He's on 71, playing beautifully. Ramden 19, supporting him well. 203 for 5, West Indies.
Thanks very much, Pat. A reminder that earlier in the French Open tennis, Maria Sharapova won. She's the new world number 1 in the women's rankings. Now, Denmark again playing very dangerously in the edge of their own penalty. What is going on,
I'm not too sure. I mean, obviously what they're doing is they're splitting the two centre halves. Quist is dropping deeper as a bit of a playmaker, but the Dutch have read this one and they're really pushing up and putting a lot of pressure on Denmark. So for the next 10 minutes, just go long. Get it up to Bentner. Get the ball in the Dutch half. This can't continue.
No, the pressure you would think is bound to tell on Denmark. Holland looked very threatening. De Jong on to Heitinga, still inside his own half, but he's got the full-back Van der Waal available near touchline. That's the Dutch right. Back to Stekelenburg, the goalkeeper, dressed all in blue today. Stekelenburg quickly out by Vlaar to Willems on the far side, and on to Van Persie, who dropped well away from the penalty area. Huntelaar wouldn't do that. Huntelaar would stay up front. Huntelaar may get an opportunity to come on later, you would think.
Yeah, I think almost
don't take the lead.
Well, I think almost regardless of what happens, he'll get a run out, won't he? Because he's a goal scorer.
Willems, the left back, certainly wants to come forward, and he's already midway inside the Danish half. Steps away from Dennis Rommedahl. Plays it back to Afellay. Afellay to Van Persie on the far side. There isn't a Dutchman anywhere near the penalty area, the Danish penalty area at the moment. Holland work the ball back to De Jong, on to Afellay. Back to the World Cup finalists, Holland. Near side of the field, Robben again. He switched flanks again. In the opening 15 minutes, he started on the right, then he went left, now he's right again. And he looks in a good mood now. Arjen Robben breaks away from Grondelli, shoots at goal on target, but a simple save for Anderson.
I think Denmark, what they're trying to avoid is the wide man getting to the byline, putting in crosses. I think they're quite happy for the likes of Robben to come in on a cross and shoot from 25, 30 yards.
Well, obviously Anderson took your advice. Eventually he clears it long to Bentner, and Bentner held the ball up well. Feeds it to the left hand side, and Simon Poulsen surely was caught there by Robben. It took the Slovenian referee rather a long time to react, but finally awards the free kick to Denmark.
I think that's been a feature of the referee so far, isn't he? He's took his time over decisions. Sometimes you think he might have missed it, but he just gives himself a second to think.
Ball immediately played back to Kvist, and here's Kjaer. You can't miss him. Looks like Robbie Savage's, but he's the decency, Kjaer, to wear a headband. On the far side of the field, Rommedahl crosses to the right, but too low. It was a poor cross from Dennis Rommedahl, easily caught by Stekelenburg.
Yeah, what we spoke about before the game, get Rommedahl in behind the full back, and what all he needs to do there is fist it across, isn't it? He lifted into the goalkeeper's hands, low and hard, let the defenders try and deal with it. If not, there was a couple of Danish players in there.
Heitinga onto Van Bommel. Van Bommel seems to have been around forever. And he's
played
about
longer
hard men, he is hard.
He's played longer than Rommedahl, hasn't he?
Is that over 30 years? Let's get an update from Durban, Ian Robertson.
Right, we've 16 minutes of the second half gone. It's 11-6, the try by Morningstein. It wasn't converted. Now there's been more pressure from South Africa. They should have taken a simple kick at goal in front of the post. Mad decision not to, but they lead 11-6 after 16 minutes of the second half.
Thank you, Ian. We've played 17 minutes in the first half here in Kharkiv. It's still Holland 0, Denmark 0, and thankfully we still have sunshine overhead. I hope that doesn't mean the storm was waiting until we leave the stadium after the game.
Beautiful night. As I said before, possibly if you're a player, just a little bit too hot.
But most of the ground is in shade. Most of the playing surface is in shade. The sunshine is peppering the mainly Dutch fans on the far side of the stadium. Other than that, we're in cover. Here's De Jong for Holland to Heitinga. Heitinga picks out Robben again. Robben flicks the ball between the legs of the fullback. Van Persie onto Robben in the penalty. What a chance for Van Persie. Or for Robben. Robben tried to pass the ball. Why on earth didn't he shoot it go? Just hit it.
It's that overplaying bit, isn't it? That is a chance. Robben, he doesn't even have to think. Just fire. Poor defensive play. Agger got caught. I know he stayed on the ground. He had a little knock to his face, but I think in situations like that, as a defender, you have to get up and try and get back and defend. And Robin is clean through. It was a great pass by Van Persie. There's only one Danish defender, Kjær. Robin, don't think about it. Fire it. Jakobsen gets back, rolls it towards the goalkeeper. Because it's not a back pass, the keeper picks it up. But that is a chance. Should have been a Dutch goal.
It was a great pass from Van Persie for Robin, and a wretched choice by Robin.
Oh, absolutely horrendous. I don't know whether he's lost some confidence because of what happened in the Champions League final. I mean, there was a little handoff, wasn't it, from Van Persie into the face of Agger. Simling couldn't get back. Looked like he was pulling a caravan. I mean, Denmark had just not started well.
You're lucky you're not in a caravan. We were thinking of putting you up there as opposed to our holiday camp. I can't tell you because I'm not allowed to advertise what it reminds me of, but let's say it's odd. Kvist on to Rommedahl on the far side of the field. Rommedahl has come back from an offside position. The flag goes up and it's a free kick to Holland. Holland 0, Denmark 0 here on 5 Live at the World Service in the BBC, and we're delighted to be able to tell you that we will be here bringing you commentary on 5 Live in the ground for every game. De Jong of Manchester City back to Vlaar, and Vlaar passes back to his goalkeepers, to Kellenberg. Out to Willems on the far side of the field. The only thing from the start that Holland made in the first 20 minutes, they've been so much on top, Jan. The longer it goes without
absolutely.
them scoring,
it's 0-0,
will it
isn't
begin to play with their minds?
It's 0-0, isn't it? And with every minute Denmark is growing. Although they're still leaving a lot of room for this
lovely
guy.
Touch by Van Bommel on the Schneider, the cross in towards Van Persie. Well, it was hit away by Daniel Agger. Van Persie sort of ducked to head the ball. I thought the defender had every right to clear it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Alan. There was one or two of the Dutch players complaining, felt they might have been an indirect free kick, but I think Agger's entitled to go for that.
It's going to be a corner to Holland. Schneider's going to take it. The two central defenders, Heitinga and Vlaar, are up. Here comes Schneider, right-footed delivery, deep, good catch by Anderson.
He needs to.
There's been a wicket in the cricket at Edgbaston. Pat Murphy.
The key one, Marlon Samuels out, LBW to Bresden for 76 on the TV referral. They are now 208 for 6, West Indies.
Right, there's been a free kick awarded to Denmark. They could have taken it a lot quicker. They were in a good position there. The Dutch defenders weren't alert to the problems. Now it's flicked into the penalty area towards Bentner, headed away well by Heitinga and cleared up to Van Persie. Van Persie and Robin are playing really well together. Now it's Apelai on to Schneider. Schneider's on the left side. This is the great thing about the Dutch players. They're so versatile, they can interchange positions quite easily. Schneider to the left and Apelai just outside the penalty area. 21 minutes played here in Kharkiv. Still 0-0. Holland on top. Back it goes to Van Bommel. Van Bommel for the orange. Plays it through the centre circle to Heitinga. And on now to Van der Weijl. Van der Weijl, 20 yards inside the Danish half. Leaves it for Robin. Just for a few seconds, play slows down. And then De Jong snaps in the pass towards Van Bommel. He thought he was fouled by Kvist. But it's still with Holland possession. No need for the referee to hold up play. Heitinga drives in the direction of Van Persie. The header back towards Schneider. Schneider appeals for handball against Daniel Agger. The referee will have none of it. And Agger clears well to Bentner. Back to Krondeli. Is Eriksson playing, by the way?
No, he hasn't touched the ball. Not touched the ball. I mean, I think that Coach Morten Olsen have spoken to him so much about where he should be and where he shouldn't be, and I think it's affected the way. He's a natural footballer. He just wants to get on with it, and he's just been totally lost in there.
Here's Apelai moving away from Eriksson. Holland in command, but haven't scored. On to Robin, cutting in as usual from the right side, a few yards outside the penalty area now. Oh, great ball into the penalty area to Van Persie with his back to the defender. Van Persie spins, shoots wide.
I mean, again, I think the Danes are now having a word with one of the officials. Feels it was an offside situation, but again, it's far too easy. Robin's little pass in to Van Persie, and he's left one-on-one with Kjær. Turns on his right foot, just goes wide. Agger's having a word with the referee. I think Denmark's got bigger problems. They have just not started.
But just back to Eriksson, I've watched him over the last couple of years playing club football and for Denmark, and I thought this is a fantastic talent.
It is a fantastic talent.
Just a couple of weeks ago, while I was in Oslo with England, I watched Denmark play against Brazil, and he didn't get a kick.
No, he was very poor against Brazil.
And he was substituted. Romadel came on for him.
He was proper taken off at half-time, wasn't he? And the coach had been very critical of him in the newspapers. And again, he's not delivering today.
The coach being Morten Olsen, who was appointed a mere 12 years ago. Another try in Durban, Ian Robertson.
Yes, perhaps a little worrying now for England. The try by the captain of the Springboks, Jean de Villiers, that takes it to 16 points to 6, with the conversion still to come. 20 minutes of the match left.
Thanks, Ian. 23 minutes played in the first half here in Kharkiv. Holland 0, Denmark 0. From left back, Simon Poulsen comes forward, and then he gets a cross in, breaks to Krondeli into the penalty, what a chance, and Denmark have taken the lead. It was a shot through the legs of Stekelenburg, completely against the run and play. Doesn't matter to the Danes. Holland 0, Denmark 1.
That's what can happen, isn't it? If you've got a little bit of ability, you're capable of scoring goals, and as you rightly say, Alan, that is completely against the run of play. But it's a goal. You were worried about Holland not scoring when they were on top. Denmark, their first chance. Poulsen comes forward, gets the ball in, and Krondeli just goes as if he's going to shoot, hits it between the legs of the goalkeeper. Defensively got to do better, Holland. I also think the goalkeeper's got to do better from that angle. But it's 1-0 for Denmark.
Keep his feet together, I thought. Stekelenburg had his legs wide apart.
It is the only place
desperate
he can put it.
Krondeli,
another player we haven't seen in the game, but he gets a chance. He goes on the outside of the defender, goes to shoot with his right foot, comes on the outside on his left foot, puts it between the goalkeeper's legs. 1-0, game on.
No national anthem before the second half at the earliest. Please, Jan. Well, here's the goal scorer, Krondeli, robbing Van der Vaart. And what will this do to the confidence of the Dutch, having played so well for the opening 23 and a half minutes, and now they're behind?
There's a funny old saying, isn't it? You must score when you're on top.
Well, Agger plays the ball forward. That put Eriksson in trouble. Van Persie collects midway inside the Danish half. Holland need to respond quickly. Van Bommel moving forward, ran into Kjær. Kjær stood up strongly and clears it away to Romadel on the far side of the field. Romadel to Bentner with Vlaar in close attendance. Well done, Bentner, getting it back to Romadel. Romadel didn't find Bentner, and the ball breaks out of play off a Dane. It's going to be a throw in to Holland. Holland 0, Denmark 1.
It'd be wrong to say Denmark are playing well, but the one chance they've had, they got a bit of luck. Poulsen's low cross was deflected to Krondeli, who then did ever so well. The first bit of composure we've seen from any Danish players, created the space, bang, left foot, 1-0.
You know, Poulsen's been so busy looking after Robben,
and he will be for the rest of the. No, absolutely. He is an attacking full-back, but as you rightly said, they've all been pushed back, all the Danes.
26 minutes gone. Denmark lead 1-0 here in Kharkiv, and few will have predicted that. 16-6. There was a mixed conversion in Durban. Well, that was not a miss from Krondeli. That was a good finish, but Stekelenburg should have done far better than he did. So he is a perceived weakness. He is a weakness.
I think he is a weakness, but Krondeli just coming back to him, he'd have got his confidence from the game against Australia a couple of days ago when Denmark beat him 2-0. He was the best player on the pitch by a long way.
You're not hearing the Dutch fans at the moment. It's the Danes who are singing here in eastern Ukraine. Let's get another update from Ian Robertson in Durban.
A third penalty by Owen Farrell just a moment ago means it's 16-9 to South Africa, and we've got 17 minutes of the match left.
Thanks, Ian. Kjær for Denmark, and that's a poor ball.
It is a poor ball, but you can play like that when you win in 1-0. And the good thing about it from Denmark's point of view is that if the Dutch would have scored and gone 1-0 in front, then Denmark would have had to change what they wanted to do. Now they can continue with what they worked on for the last 10 days.
Here's Vlaar stepping over the halfway line, running forward. Good ball on to Van Persie. Van Persie's first touch wasn't great. Kjær gets there, and Kjær does really well, just shepherding the ball behind for a goal kick. Well. I was not expecting this. Not the way it started, the game.
I would have thought with your experience in the game, Alan.
You think I should have known better?
Yeah, I think you should have seen
Absolutely.
that coming.
You're going closer to the caravan with every comment.
No.
In fact, actually, there's a great tent site.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Not far
just
from
not ready.
From our holiday camp. Like most things in
It'd be
Ukraine.
ready for the next time they host it.
Whatever that is. Holland 0, Denmark 1. 27 and a half minutes played in the first half. Chris caught in possession. Ball breaks to Van Persie. Van Persie past Kjær. There's not a Dutchman inside the penalty. There is now with Robben. The cross is high. Looking for Arjen Robben. Agar jumps well, heads it clear, and that might have been a handball by Simon Poulsen. Certainly there was an appeal by Robin.
It was a handball, it's just whether it was deliberate or not. But again, Denmark from the goal kick playing out short. I mean, it's all very good wanting to play in a certain way, isn't it? But when it's not working, putting yourself under pressure, stop it.
Here's Schneider onto Robin. Moving towards the Danish penalty area. Won't want to cross with his right foot, but he did cross with his right foot. It hit Poulsen and has gone behind for a corner. I mean, we have, two assistants to the referee on this side who could have had a clear view of that, quote, handball by Poulsen. Perhaps it was just adjudged entirely accidentally. Corner for the Dutch, who trailed Denmark 1-0. Robin plays it in left foot. It's a great corner, but the header was wide.
There was a chance, wasn't it? I mean, it's put into a great area by Robin. Keeper can't come. Dutch players are just coming across. That is a chance. I mean, he hardly gets a touch on it. We have an injury. I think it was the player in question.
It's Afellay,
Afellay,
yes. Afellay with a header, but it was a glancing header.
Yeah, it was. He never got a great contact. Here we see the incident with the handball.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think that was pretty close to a deliberate handball. And we'll go back to Durban while there's a hold-up in play here. Ian Robertson.
Building up to a great climax here. Owen Farrell's just kicked his fourth penalty, and so we have 14 minutes left, and South Africa leads 16-12 against England.
Thank you very much, Ian. Here in Ukraine, Holland 0, Denmark 1. It was actually Vlaar with the header.
And then he ran into Afellay.
And then he ran into Afellay. It wasn't Affelay's header.
No,
it was Vlaar's header.
He's headbutted and actually knocked out Afellay, who's been very unlucky with injuries ever since he joined Barcelona.
Off the pitch. And Holland, I don't think they're rocking, but they certainly don't look as confident in terms of their body language as they did when it was 0-0.
No, and of course the problem they know they've got now is that to score, to win the game, and I think they'll feel they need to win this one, they need to score twice.
Denmark, who topped their qualifying group ahead of Portugal. I don't know why people are ruling out Denmark. Doesn't make sense to me, and certainly not with this scoreline.
No,
they've got to throw
not.
in level with the edge of the Dutch penalty area. Throw in, it goes to Eriksson. Back to the full-back, Simon Poulsen. Affelay's back on the pitch now. The cross from Poulsen was overhit, and it's out of play on the far side of the field. Throw in to Holland. I said Afellay was back on the pitch. He was actually delayed from coming on when he should have done.
Yeah, you don't get that, do you?
I understand this. Why don't
absolutely
once you're ready,
plays
wave
going
him
on. He's ready, isn't he? Why do you need to be punished?
Wasn't feigning injury or anything like that. 14 minutes to half time here on 5 Live in the World Service on the BBC. Denmark lead Holland 1-0. Later, Germany and Portugal. What a group. And England can thank their lucky stars there, and not such a group. It's not a weak group for England, far from it, but it's not as tough as this one. And of course, England's first game on Monday. I was going to say it'll be evening our time, but late afternoon your time in the United Kingdom. England against France from Donetsk. That's an interesting journey.
Donetsk? Yeah. Are you going on a train?
No, I think I'm hitching a lift. I think that was the last suggestion.
There's nothing wrong with the road, so
I've only got
a comfortable ride.
I only got 2 flights to get for that.
Via Munich.
But the real treat is for a game that I'm lined up for in Gdansk. Guess where I fly to?
Munich.
I'm completely
just in case you left something there at the Champions League final.
Holland 0, Denmark 1. Morten Olsen, he still looks glum.
Yeah, because I think he expected more. He said that it's been a tough training camp for Denmark, but they'd be ready to be sharp for this game, and they haven't really. I know they're leading 1-0, but they haven't been as good as I think the coach expected.
De Jong on to Schneider. The action just inside the Danish half. Schneider plays it back to Afellay. Van Persie still nowhere near the penalty area, really. Now it's with Robin down the right side. He's got Van der Waal available. Robin just looking at his marker, picks out Van Persie. Under Van der Waal, good play. That looked like a handball, but again, neither assistant spotted it or decided that it was deliberate, and it's cleared by Denmark up toward the halfway line. Eriksson back to Krondelli, the goal scorer, into Zimling. Zimling onto the far side. Now, Denmark, what can you do here? The Dutch are stretched. Bender's available left side of the penalty area, but it slows down. It's with Rommedahl. Edge of the box. Rommedahl crosses now, high, took a deflection, but is kept in play by Stekelenburg. No corner.
Yeah, don't have an awful lot of the ball, Denmark, but when they do, there is opportunities to break. And again, they move the ball beautifully from one side to the other. Poor cross by Rommedahl.
A lot of worried Dutch fans at the moment, though. The team started so brightly, and they're not looking so good now. Back to Edgbaston, Pat Murphy.
215 for 6 the West Indies score. We still have an hour and a half still to come. England have taken the second new ball. No breakthrough yet. Sammy on 3, Ramden 22. The centrepiece of West Indies innings, a glittering 76 from Marlon Samuels, last man out to Bresden. 215 for 6.
1967, the last time that Denmark beat Holland. What does history matter? Kvist comes forward, finds Bentner midway inside the Dutch half. Bentner, patient, gets it back to Zimling. Zimling now to the captain, Eiger. And Eiger finds Kjaer on the far side of the field. Kjaer's first touch wasn't great. And now he drills it forward in the direction of Rommedahl. Rommedahl gets there inside the penalty area, flicks it back. Here's Bentner, takes it on his chest. Lots of Dutch defenders around. Couldn't bring the ball under proper control. But it's still with Denmark. Down the near side, the left, with Krohn-Deli, the goal scorer. Krohn-Deli crossed into the penalty area towards the far post. Half cleared. That could have run anywhere. Could have run straight to Eriksson. Instead it's with Kvist, 40 yards out. Dutch defence isn't looking that bright.
We thought it might be in a weakness, Alan.
Simon Poulsen moves towards the edge of the Dutch penalty area, into it. But that's a poor cross. Worse than that. It's a wretched cross. And it's out of play for a throw-in on the far side.
Well, it's a waste, isn't it? Because Denmark had managed to get 4 men in the penalty box, and the only place where there wasn't any Danes is where Poulsen crossed it.
10 minutes to go to half time. Holland 0, Denmark 1. Simon Poulsen, who provided the touchback, however inadvertently, for Krohn-Deli, whose finish put the ball between the legs of Stekelenburg. Simon Poulsen flicks it infield, it hit Robben, and it's out for a Danish throw-in. Another update from Ian Robertson in Durban.
Penalty by Steyn for South Africa, and that gives them the 7-point margin. England can still draw this match. There's 8 minutes left. 19-12, South Africa lead England.
Still time for England. Still time for Holland, of course, here in Kharkiv. Eriksson, his contribution still
it stands at 0. No, it stands at 0. A player with that talent, it stands at absolutely 0.
The ball is back with the Danish goalkeeper Anderson, and gives it away. That was awful. Robben collects it. Robben into the day of the penalty area, shoots, hits the post. Rebound to the far side of Van Persie. That was all down to the goalkeeper. Still the pressure on Denmark. Schneider back to Van Bommel. Van Bommel, good ball forward to Afellay. He's recovered from that clash of heads with his own player Vlaar. Afellay checks, slips the ball to the right to Van der Waal. Van der Waal crosses first time behind the goal. Relief for Denmark. What on earth was Anderson doing?
But we can't say it again. I mean, they cannot continue to play like this. The Dutch are pressurising high up. Sometimes you say if you can play through that first bit of pressure, then you got a chance. But Denmark's passing from the back has been appalling. This time it was the goalkeeper. 4 Dutch against 3 Danes. Again, you feel they should have scored.
He was well beaten by the shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, another short goal kick for Denmark, but this one successfully negotiated in terms of getting the ball into the Dutch half. It's with Simon Poulsen into Zimling. Zimling flicks the ball forward at Kvist, up inside the Dutch penalty area, probably the first time in the game.
You don't want him there though, do you? You want him back, keep the balance. The Dutch are just finding it a little bit difficult now, isn't it? It's one of those situations now, 1-0 down, where you look at Van Bommel and De Jong, maybe just 2 of them is one too many.
8 minutes to half time on 5 Live at the World Service from the BBC. Holland 0, Denmark 1. Krohn-Deli's goal after 24 minutes of the opening game in Group B of the European Championship. Here's Van Persie. Van Persie gives it on to Afellay. Van Persie still wide of the penalty area. Schneider's inside the penalty area. Van Persie declines the cross. Finds Afellay instead. Afellay drills it towards the right side, towards Robben. Robben, good control from the Dutchman. Then he runs into Simon Poulsen. Simon Poulsen should be able to clear this, and does clear it. It's still in play, near side of the field. Krohn-Deli. Back to Zimling. Zimling on to Bentner. Lovely touch from Bentner, who was fouled there by Heitinga, and the referee decides that the advantage wasn't sufficient from Denmark's perspective and awards the free kick.
No, he's done okay, Bentner, hasn't he? I mean, he hasn't had an awful lot to work with in the penalty area, but he's come deep. They've been able to trust him with the ball. He's kept the ball for for his teammates.
Always a disturbing sign when a Mexican wave breaks out of the stadium. And what are they doing? Why do you need it, folks? It's a good game of football. Holland 0, Denmark 1. Kjær for Denmark. Kjær onto the far side, and Jakobsen back to Kjær. Can they be disinterested in the game?
No, they can't. Surely not.
Here's Zimling. Kvist. Good play by Kvist. Finds Zimling again. He's got a little bit of room. Moves into the centre circle. And then plays it forward. That looked like a foul on Crondelli, but the referees decided it was a fair challenge, and the ball breaks to De Jong. De Jong onto Afellay. Afellay running forward towards the Danish penalty area. Oh, the defender committed himself, and Afellay shoots narrowly over.
That is not like Aga normally. He's normally a very good defender in one-on-one situation. This time Afellay did ever so well. Created the space and shoots from some 20 yards and just rises over the crossbar.
You still think the Dutch have an equaliser in there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you feel it's coming, don't you? They're still finding space, and it's their better players, isn't it, that's finding the space. Afellay, Sneijder, Robin van Persie. It's a worry.
I'm very disappointed in the Ukrainian police, who could have put a stop to that Mexican wave very quickly. Just a dirty look would have been enough.
Yeah, I'm sure it would have been.
By the way, Michel Platini is here. I wonder if, like us, he was stopped a mile from the stadium and told he'd have to walk the remaining distance. I'm sure. Ball forward towards Bentner. Headed clear by Vlar. It's with Eriksson on the halfway line. Eriksson to Jakobsen on the far side of the field. That's a good ball in by Eriksson. Eriksson back to Kvist. Good spell this for Denmark, despite Robert hitting the post there. Zimling to Eriksson. Zimling again on to Bentner. Bentner feeds it to the right. Jakobsen, lots of time to get the cross in, controls the ball, drills it back. Zimling left-footed shot. Oh, he didn't hit the volley correctly, and it's cleared by a very fortunate Dutch defence.
Yeah, again, they work the space well. Again, Bentner's involved, comes deep, takes control again, beautiful ball out, and the cross is good, and I think Zimling arrives late in the penalty box. I'm sure he gets a shout from Crondelli, who was much better placed to volley with his right foot. Another chance, Denmark.
Here's a throw in to be taken by Kvist.
This will be a long throw.
The Danish Rory Delap.
Oh,
because of the
not quite.
He gets and throws.
Not quite, but he'll go in there. Aga's up, Bentner's in there.
The Dutch beware. 5 minutes to go to half time. Denmark lead 1-0. Kvist with an enormous throw towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed away though by Heitinga. Van Persie doesn't bring the ball under control, and Zimling has it for Denmark. On to Eriksson. Zimling once more. Zimling's influence in the game is increasing. Now it's Bentner. Bentner running away from De Jong. Plays it to the left side to Poulsen, the left full back. Back to Crondelli, the goal scorer. Crondelli. There's not a Danish player inside the Dutch penalty area, so they force it wide again to Poulsen. 4 minutes left to half time. Crondelli again. Eriksson makes himself available. Eriksson takes it up. Plays it to the left full back. Poulsen. And Van Marwijk, the Dutch coach, clearly concerned about what's going on, immediately out of his seat, out to the edge of his technical area. What news in Durban? Ian Robertson.
A penalty coming up for South Africa. They lead by 19 points to 12. England have hung in well, but there's only 3 minutes of the match to go, and if this penalty goes over, that's the end of the match as far as England are concerned. They trail 19-12, 3 minutes to go, but a penalty nearly in front of the post for South Africa right now.
Here's Crondelli again with a shot at goal, but this time lacked real impetus, and it was saved by Stekelenburg.
Yeah, but again, it was a good spell by Denmark. They worked the chance ever so well. Eriksson's little first-time pass into Crondelli, again an opportunity, and I think Van Marwijk is worried about what is happening when Denmark's got the ball. It's just a little bit too easy. They're getting drawn out of position. They created one or two half chances, Denmark, and I think that's a worry.
It's not a complaint about Van Persie or the contribution of the other attacking players in orange, but you do think that they lack an out-and-out striker.
Yeah, absolutely.
That Huntelaar would provide. But here's Van Persie. Oh, great interception by Agar. Ball breaks out of Sneijder. Sneijder out of Van Persie. Must be 1-1. First touch was awful. Goalkeeper meant to say. Should have been 1-1.
Yeah, should have been. It's a great chance. I know it's on his right foot, but should have scored. I mean, again, Denmark gets himself into trouble. One long ball.
Sneijder shoots. That's wide of goal.
It was one long ball from the back. Heitinga's pass, 60 yards. Aga and Kjær totally isolated. That can't happen. I mean, there's a massive room. Denmark defending too deep. Have to do better.
I mean, it might seem ridiculous to criticise Van Persie, for for his finish after all the goals he scored in England this season, but Huntelaar, I've seen, tuck those away easily. What news in Durban? Ian Robertson.
The kick went over by Morné Steyn, so that was England's last hope. We've now got 1 minute left, and South Africa lead England 22 points to 12.
Thanks, Ian. We've got 2 minutes left in the first half here in Kharkiv. Holland 0, Denmark 1. Denmark, though, have allowed Robben to hit a post, and then that opportunity for Van Persie amongst the Dutch chances.
Well, a better first touch from Van Persie, and it's a goal.
Oh, it's a goal. I was just waiting to acclaim the equaliser.
I mean, give some credit to the goalkeeper. He's quick off his line. He hits his body. Good save. But they're allowing Holland too many opportunities.
Here's Rommedahl, midway inside his own half, the Danish half. Rommedahl again from Kjaer's pass to Jakobsen, the right full-back on the far side. On to Rommedahl. Rommedahl with De Jong. De Jong just got a touch on that ball, but the assistant has decided that Rommedahl's touch was the last one. So the throw-in is awarded to Holland, who take the throw quickly. It's with Willems, the full-back, almost on the halfway line. Back to De Jong. And De Jong to Van Persie, who was pushed in the back by Agger, in front of the referee, who didn't award a free kick. Crondelli on to Bentner. Bentner slipped, but regained control, kept control of the ball. Well done, Nicholas Bentner. Bentner halfway inside the Dutch half. Little touch to Zimling. Zimling to Jakobsen on the far side. Needs a good cross. Cross hits the fullback Willems and goes behind for a Danish corner in the last minute of the first half.
Well, they know Denmark, when they attack, they can allow for the fullbacks to join in late, because, you know, Robben and Afellay, that's not their strength. So the Danish fullbacks are the extra men when they're attacking.
I've only one thing to say to you as we approach half time. Even if Denmark win, niet vodka after the game.
I think you might just be right.
Niet vodka.
Does that mean a bottle?
Here's the corner. Crondelli takes it. Deep looking for Bender. Runs to Bender, and Bender couldn't get it under control. It bounced off his shins and back to Stekelenburg.
Yeah, I think he was surprised, Nicholas Bender. It arrived at his feet.
Went a long way.
Yeah. And then he went back in off his shins, and Agger reacted a little bit too late.
1 minute of added time at the end of this first half. 1-0 the scoreline in favour of Denmark against Holland. Holland, World Cup finalists 2 years ago, and with hopes of winning the European Championship, but they're trailing here in their opening match in Group B. That was Crondelli wildly overhitting a pass aimed initially towards Rommedahl. It's behind for a goal kick. 1-0 at half time. Great scoreline for Denmark. The way this game started, the first 24 minutes.
Yeah, it was all one way.
Here's Schneider. Schneider was well tackled. Oh, a delayed reaction from the referee.
Poor decision.
Well, I think he looked. He decided it wasn't a foul tackle.
Yeah, he's kind of way play on, hasn't he?
And suddenly he gives Holland a free kick.
I think the more Schneider rolled.
Anyway, we've probably got time for them to make any use of this free kick. No, we haven't. There is the half-time whistle. Big smile, Jan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's against the run of play. You know, even if you're winning 1-0 as Denmark are, you still have to be worried. What Morten Olsen will be saying to his players is, we got ourselves in front. If they have to take it away from him, let him earn it. Let's stop making mistakes. Holland has still got options on the bench. There's one or two players who are not quite delivering for them as of yet.
Huntelaar will be on before the hour if it stays like this. Half-time, Holland 0, Denmark 1. Anyway, there are no changes at the start of the second half in terms of the 2-11s, but that won't stay so for long. I think Huntelaar and Strootman are likely substitutions. The longer it goes on, 1-0 to Denmark.
Yeah, you would have thought so. They've got to do something, haven't they? I mean, they'll give this 10 minutes and see what kind of energy and tempo they can get into the game.
Right, Holland's 11, Stekelenburg in goal. Defensive, Van der Vaal, Heitinga, Vlaar and Willems. Then Van Bommel and De Jong. Then Robben, Schneider and Afellay. And finally Van Persie. Denmark's goalkeeper Andersen. Defenders Jakobsen, Kjaer, Agger and Poulsen. Then Zimling and Kvist. Rommedahl, Eriksson and Crondelli, who got the only goal of the first half. And finally Nicholas Bentner. Referee is from Slovenia, Damir Skamina. He's checked his watch. Television say, yes, let's get underway. And Denmark all in white, defending the goal to our left in the second half, and they may have to do a fair amount of defending, Jan.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Just hope that they stop playing out from the back from Some goal kicks that's caused them a lot of problems in the first half, but you expect the Dutch to come now. They've got good players.
Here's Willems, forward to Schneider. Schneider just short of the halfway line, falls over but still gets the pass back to Van Bommel. Van Bommel to the right fullback, Van der Waal. And now it's with Heitinga and Vlaar. Holland dominated the first 20 or so minutes of the game without question. Then they went behind and they had chances to equalise. Van Persie, lack of control on one obvious occasion, and then Robben hit the post. Schneider to the left full-back, Willems. Willems now to Van Persie. Van Persie spins away from Kjaer. Kjaer persists though. Pass goes back to Afellay. Schneider to the left side, a few yards in from the touchline. Schneider takes it up. Holland, though, are going to face an increasingly defensive Danish white wall, you sense. Here's Afellay. Afellay into Schneider. Schneider holds off Eriksson. Finds Van Persie. A couple of yards outside the penalty. Into Schneider. Schneider was surely offside, but not given. Afellay back to Van Persie. Van Persie tried to slip the ball past Kvist, then ran into the midfield player, and it's cleared by Kjaer out of play.
Yeah, I think it's very much the picture we're going to see in the second half. A lot of Dutch possession, a lot of Danes back defending. Schneider involved, Van Persie involved.
Willems of PSV, the left full back for Holland. Back to De Jong. How much longer do you think the Dutch coach will persist with two holding midfield players in De Jong and Van Bommel?
I mean, I'm surprised there's not any Dutch players out already warming up.
Well, I think Huntelaar, with a number of shots aimed at goal, was trying to give a hint. Clearly unhappy not to be in the starting 11. But here's Robben for Holland into the penalty. A Robben shot takes a deflection, loops over the crossbar, and it's a corner.
That's a responsibility they have to take. Danish wide players working back. Robben again trying to come inside on his left foot. Goes past one, goes past the second. I think he thinks he's gone past Crondelli, but a good sliding tackle takes it over the crossbar for the corner.
Schneider of Inter Milan with the corner for Holland. Right footed, in swinging towards the near post, and Van Persie made the run, didn't get the glancing header he intended, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a poor corner, isn't it? You're never going to score from there. Kjaer did well, stayed with Van Persie.
Persisting with short goal kicks again, considering the amount of panic engendered in the first half from such a tactic, why persist with it?
Holland's best opportunities have come from Denmark giving the ball away when they're trying to build from the back.
Here's Kjaer into Eriksson, still very quiet from the young Dane.
He doesn't take enough responsibility on the ball, does he? Sometimes he just wants to pass it. I mean, I know he's a very good one-touch player, but sometimes take responsibility, take control, and he hasn't done that.
Crondelli to the captain Agger, who moves over the halfway line into the Dutch half. Forward to Bentner. Bentner's touch wasn't great, but his persistence won the ball back. Nicholas Bentner looking to the right side. Good ball to Rommedahl. Rommedahl, lovely touch back. And now it's flicked infield. Well, that looked like a foul, but Holland get away with that. Denmark still have the ball, and then it's given away. The pass aimed at Rommedahl was too far ahead of him, and it's through to the goalkeepers, to Kellenberg.
That's the first time we've seen any of Denmark in the second half. Eriksson's pass just overhits a little bit. Here come the Dutch again.
How long would you anticipate at 1-0 to Denmark?
Well, I would have thought 10 minutes. I would have thought 10 minutes, you know.
Schneider into Van Persie, onside. Van Persie again, he lacked control. Kvist got in a challenge, and it's cleared by Agger.
Not too sure whether he actually slipped there or his right foot got in the way, but again, it was an opportunity. Good movement from Van Persie. Got in behind the Danish defenders, but just at the vital moment. Not too sure, as I said before, whether he slipped or his right foot got in the way.
Now, did he get a free kick for that, Van
Incredible.
Bommel?
He's very good at that, isn't
he? Van Bommel to Schneider on to Van Persie. Van Persie shot saved by Anderson.
Yeah, it's that boy again, isn't it? Schneider creating the space, getting away from the Danish midfield players. A wonderful pass into the space. Van Persie on his right foot. You think he's just going to put it beyond the reaches of Anderson, but good save by the goalkeeper.
Kvist hits it upfield. Cleared by Willems and back by Van Bommel. That was a clear dive, you know.
Yeah, by Van Bommel.
By the Dutch
absolutely
captain. How was that bought by the referee?
Pathetic.
Who had a terrific view of it. Here's Robben. Robben to the right side. Van der Waal. Van der Waal midway inside the Danish half. Denmark have got 10 players back. Only Bentner left in a forward position at the moment. It's with Heitinga. Heitinga to Robben. Good control by Arjen Robben. Into Van Bommel. Room for Van Bommel. His shot driven right-footed, palmed away by Anderson for a corner.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even allow that amount of space for Van Bommel. Again, it's too easy, too much freedom. He's hit that ever so well, and I just thought for a second the goalkeeper was going to allow that to go in. He just gets it wide. I mean, it should have been a comfortable save.
I think he made it look more difficult than it was. Schneider's corner. 6 minutes gone in the second half here on 5 Live at the World Service on the BBC. Denmark lead Holland 1-0. Schneider gets to the ball again. Crondelli too easily beaten. Schneider crosses in. Bentner back defending for the corner. Heads it away. Ball still inside the penalty area. And now it's not, because it's out of play on the far side of the field for a throw into Holland.
One thing is for sure, though, you can't invite this kind of pressure for 45 minutes and hope to get away with it. I mean, at the moment, Denmark, no possession, just all one-way traffic.
Vlaar to De Jong in the centre circle. And now it's with Willems. Willems in now to Afellay. Room for Afellay moving forward. Shot is low and the goalkeeper was stretching. Did he get a fingertip to it? No, he didn't.
I don't think he did, Alan, no. But he looked very slow coming across, didn't he, the goalkeeper? But again, centrally in front of the two centre halves. So much space this time for Afellay.
Well, Sorensen, I think, would have been the Danish goalkeeper.
Yeah, he is the number one,
he
absolutely.
picked up an injury against
Brazil.
And so he's out. I'm glad to see Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for him. It's the first time he's been involved.
For the future, like his dad.
But of course, the backup goalkeeper is Lindegaard from Manchester United. A lot of people are surprised that he's not in goal tonight. Yeah, absolutely.
De Jong for that other Manchester team, the champions of England, Manchester City. On to Robben. Robben up the left side for the moment. Robben moving, allowed to move forward towards the penalty area. Back to Schneider. Van Bommel again. 25 yards out. On to Afellay. Into the penalty area. Low cross. Takes a deflection corner.
Yeah, it's all very good having bodies back like Denmark, but you've got to do your job.
Can't go on like this, Jan. Not for Denmark.
No.
Too much pressure.
Yeah, absolutely too much. Yeah, we said that before.
Robben places the ball in the quadrant, taps the corner short. Van Bommel into the penalty area, still running forward. Has he got the controller? Tried to pull the cross back, hits a defender. I think it was Poulsen that's behind for another corner.
But again, it's responsibility, and again, Denmark's got to be careful they don't get caught by set pieces. It was Van Bommel who ran away from Eriksson. That should never happen.
Doubt if there'll be anything short about this from Robben. Robben plays it in, and the header over by Heitinga. That should have been 1-1.
Again, a great opportunity for Holland. This time it's a beautiful flighted corner, right where the goalkeeper can't come. Heitinga arrives late, and as you rightly say, Alan, he gets away from Bentner. Should score.
Early pressure in the second half on Denmark, but there was much pressure on Denmark in the early stages of the first half.
Not
as well.
much as this, though.
Jakobsen, Kvist onto Rommedahl. Rommedahl to Eriksson down the right side. Van Bommel gets back, the Dutch captain. Eriksson brings the ball under control, couple of yards in from the corner flag, slips it back to Rommedahl. Bentner waiting. Will there be a cross? Crondelli, score of the first goal. Crondelli beats one defender, a second. He's still not really pressurising the defence though. Knocks it back now to Zimling. Zimling forward to the left side, and it's with Poulsen. Poulsen cuts in towards the penalty area once more. Poulsen in an attacking position, hasn't got the cross in. Now he's got a great chance. Poulsen into the penalty area. Can he pull the ball back? Oh, there was a great chance there for Rommedahl. Rommedahl, I don't think even got a foot on the ball, but it's behind for a corner.
He did ever so well there, the left back Simon Poulsen. It took forever and a day, but he was tenacious, kept going. He creates a bit of space, gets to the byline, and you think maybe Rommedahl just went a little bit too early, didn't leave himself any space for the pass, and then the right back Jakobsen couldn't quite get there.
Nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half. The first threat from Denmark again, who lead Holland 1-0. Zimling's corner hit back to Eriksson. That was a very awkward run for Eriksson to take. He miscontrolled it, and it's behind for a goal kick now.
Yeah, but he should be able to do that at this level. Short corner, poor pass Zimling, and again physically not strong enough Eriksson.
Just saw a replay of that effort by Van Persie, and you're right, he slipped.
He looked that way, yeah.
He just slipped. Where's Huntelaar? Is he sitting down? Not for much longer, surely. We've played 10 minutes in the second period. It remains 1-0 to Denmark. Rommedahl to Zimling. On to Rommedahl. Bentner's breaking through, and Rommedahl trying to pick him out. No offside flag at the moment. Bentner, though, forced wide. Plays it back to Crondelli. Crondelli with Eriksson available. Finds young Eriksson. few yards outside the penalty area. Now Bentner. Only Romadal's in a position to meet a cross. Bentner's going to shoot at goal. Hits Heitinga. Rebounds to Robben for Holland. And now it should be cleared by Van der Waal. Van der Waal back to his goalkeepers, to Kellenberg, who's not under any pressure. You know, at set pieces, it's almost inexcusable for Denmark not to make something of it, because otherwise they're not getting enough players inside the Dutch penalty area.
No, that's right, yeah.
Thrown on the far side to Denmark. Simon Poulsen of AZ Alkmaar to take it. Oh, to Quist, and the return pass from Quist was awful. Out for a throw in to Holland.
So many basic errors.
That's the funny thing about it. They're leading, but they haven't actually played.
No,
well,
they haven't played particularly well. No, absolutely not. And it's not even, they haven't even defended really, really well either, which you feel you need to do to create a shock against Holland. But that hasn't been the case either. Encouragement
for the Dutch fans, though, who are noisier at the moment than the Danes. Afellay to Schneider. Back to Afellay. He's got Van der Waal available on the far side of the field. He picks out the right fullback, who's already 30 yards inside the Danish half. Not a good ball forward from him. Kjaer can clear. Finds Zimling. He's that sort of steady midfield enforcer who, apart from the odd rash tackle, you can thoroughly rely on.
And he's got better, hasn't he, as the game's gone on?
Definitely. He started in a manner in the first few minutes. I thought he was bound to be booked within 5. Didn't. Here's Eiger. Eiger, long strides from the Liverpool centre back, forward into the Dutch half. Leaves it now for Crondelli. Tapped to Zimling. Zimling 25 yards out. Good ball to the right side to Jakobsen. Jakobsen controls it. Now he crosses. It's overhit. That was poor. Robben on the far side for the Dutch.
But it was again the fullbacks, wasn't it, who became the spare man. Jakobsen arrived late.
Van Bommel hits it back to his goalkeepers, to Kellenberg, who I still feel shouldn't have been beaten by Crondelli's shot. We watched numerous replays of it at half time, and it's sort of inexcusable for the goalkeeper to have his legs so wide apart. I keep thinking of Schmeichel. You know what Schmeichel would have done in such circumstances.
He would have definitely kept his legs together.
Here's Schneider. Schneider now approaching the Danish penalty area, but look, there are 5, 6, 7 players back for Denmark. Schneider again from Affelay's pass. Schneider goes down. Free kick to Holland.
Have to be careful. Don't get too close, Schneider. He's very good. He wants you to make rash decisions so he can use his quick feet.
Yeah, he's pulled down there, but it didn't take much of a pull.
No, but it doesn't. You know, and this is a great position. Schneider will fancy this. They're bringing a centre half forward as well.
13 minutes played in the second half. Holland 0, Denmark 1. The free kick, given the angle, is over 25 yards from goal. 4 men in the Danish wall, being pointed back by the Slovakian referee. And here is Schneider. Schneider waiting. I think it's a shot rather than a cross, but we'll see. Van Persie's in the D. Schneider shooting at goal, whips it onto the forehead of Kjaer, who heads it clear to the far side, and Van Bommel. Van Bommel, wildly overhit cross behind goal kick.
Yeah, but look at that to your right, Alan. Huntelaar, Van der Vaart and Dirk Kuyt all warming up.
Well, you fancy any of them?
Well, that's what a great squad gives you, isn't it? Options from the bench.
I still think Strootman would be a choice in midfield for me. The ball is back with the Danish goalkeeper, and it's head upfield by Andersen, headed back by Holland to Schneider, into De Jong, and already nearly a quarter of an hour has been played in the second half. Van der Waal on the far side of the field, back to Heitinga, edge of the centre circle, played to his fellow central defender Vlaar. Heitinga again, another dreaded, appalling, out of place Mexican wave breaks out around the Metalist Stadium here in Kharkiv. Van Bommel goes down. Zimling offended. The Dutch had the ball, had the advantage. Play continues. Good ball on by Schneider. Van Persie, edge of the penalty area. Kjaer trying to force him wide. Kjaer persistent. And Van Persie, in the end, he gets the corner.
Yeah, he does, but it was good defending by Kjaer. He didn't need to do anything rash. He stood his ground. But again, of course, it's another set piece. The last one created a great opportunity for Heitinga.
Schneider to take the corner from the left, heading it right footed, deep, good catch by Andersen. Commanding catch from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, a couple of times he hasn't been able to come for many set pieces. but when he has been able to, he's helped his defenders out.
Oh, that's good play by Agar, fitting the ball to the left side. It's Eriksson, Krondeli and Romadal in support. Bentner's well outside the penalty area at the moment. Eriksson just holding up play. Actually, the ball breaks up a Dutch defender's legs, and it's out for a throw in to Denmark on the far side.
Buys them a little bit of time, pushes men forward.
Throw in goes back to Simon Poulsen onto the far side, and Krondeli infield. It's now with Zimling to Kvist to Bentner. Bentner good 35-40 yards from goal. Tackle, loses the ball. Careless there, trying to win it back. May not win it back. Still persistent, Nicholas Bentner. And then helped out by Kvist, but the referee spotted an infringement and awards a free kick to Holland, which is quickly taken by Vlaar. De Schneider over the halfway line. On to Willems. Willems goes down under a tackle from Jakobsen, and it's a free kick to Holland.
Yeah, he was caught. Free kick has been given. Let's get on with it.
Oh, yeah, he got a kick in the shins. Willems was just too quick for the other fullback. Schneider's going to take this free kick. De Jong is up inside the penalty area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 players in attacking positions for Holland.
Trying to keep them out of the penalty box, Denmark.
Here comes from Schneider, deep into the penalty, hiding a header across goal, flags up for offside, but Percy headed over anyway.
It worked well for Denmark. I just said they were trying to be brave, keeping Holland out of the penalty area. Heitinga sneaks round the back, 2 yards offside.
Yeah, good decision from the assistant though. You mustn't be intimidated by the occasion. These are all big games. Concentrate on getting it right, and he got it right.
I think we saw a little bit of that last night in the opening game, didn't we?
Oh, without question.
With the very unfortunate 2 bookings for the Greek defender.
I thought the first sending off was ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Once again, Anderson takes a short goal kick, gets the ball back. Now he smashes it upfield. Bentner jumps, headed away by the Dutch. Afellay controls it, still waiting for Huntelaar or Kuyt or Van der Vaart to come on to help revive the Dutch in this opening game in Group B. Holland 0, Denmark 1. To come tonight, Portugal against Germany. Another game you'll be able to hear on 5 Live. Here's Willems. Willems back to Schneider. Schneider whips in the cross. Robin with header wide. And again, you keep on saying this. If that had been Huntelaar, it would have been a goal.
It's 1-1, yeah, but it wasn't. It was Robin. But again, you worry. Denmark defending too deep. Poulsen doesn't hold the line. Robin gets away from him, and it's a chance. It was a beautiful flight across again by Schneider. Robin has to do better, but Poulsen also, as a left back, as I said before, has to hold a better line.
Well, that's at least 3 times I've been saying, if not just thinking, that it should be 1-1. Let's get news of the F1 qualifying. Jonathan Ledyard.
Sebastian Vettel is the fastest man. We just completed the first part of qualifying here in Canada in brilliant sunshine. Vettel, Button, Hamilton, Schumacher, Alonso, the top 5. It's the usual suspects who failed to make it through from the first part of qualifying for the names Kovalainen, Petrov, De La Rosa, Glock, P. Carter-Cahen and John-Eric Verne for the Toro Rosso team. Also one of the 7 cars eliminated from the first part.
Good ball in from the right hand side by Jakobsen, but Zimling couldn't get there, and it's cleared by Holland. That was just a little threat from Denmark.
Well, again, it's the fullback Jakobsen who gets forward. Willems doesn't quite spot his run, but it was difficult. Only Zimling arriving late in the penalty box. Poor cross.
Here's De Jong for the Dutch, to the captain Van Bommel, and on to Robin on the far side of the field. Robin, not as prominent in the second period as he was in the first, but Robin with a great run forward now, and he shoots low left-footed wide of goal. Neither the power nor the direction right.
No, I think it's been a real tactic of Denmark, hasn't it? Don't allow Robin and Afellay to the bylines. They allowed him to come in and cross and shoot from distance.
25 minutes left for play here in Kharkiv. Denmark lead Holland 1-0. A long goal kick this time taken by Anderson. Bentner knocks it back to a player in white. That's Kvist. Kvist to Bentner again. Jakobsen in a forward position, the fullback down the right hand side. It's slowly going his way. First of all by Kjær. Jakobsen now just over the halfway line to Romadal. Romadal controlled it well, but then Willems just put his right foot to the ball, knocked it out of play for a throw in to Denmark. Jakobsen to take it. Bentner available, so too is Eriksson. Jakobsen delays. You can tell that Denmark are slowing these things down now. Throw in finally goes to Eriksson. Eriksson gives it away. And now it's cleared by Vlaar. To Van Bommel. Back to Van der Waal on the far side of the field. Van der Waal still inside his own half. Now the ball moves inside the Danish territory, and it's with Robben. Robben now holding it up. Where's the support coming from? He has to play it backwards. To Heitinga. And now Vlaar. Left of the centre circle. Over the halfway line. Running away from Bentner. Bentner didn't make much of an effort there. Ball aimed at Schneider. Good interception by Agger. And here's Niklas Bentner for Denmark. Mikkelsen is a Danish player that is warming up there.
Yeah, it's not.
Goodness. Van Bommel is going to get booked for taking down Zimling. What a surprise. Van Bommel is booked.
You're just talking about Mikkelsen. It's not unthinkable.
Here's Huntelaar coming on.
He could come on and play the role
Van der Vaart
of Eriksson. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It had to be a double substitution.
Well, Van der Vaart being spoken to by his coach initially, but Huntelaar's already stripped off as well. So a yellow card for Van Bommel, and it's a free kick to Denmark. It's a double substitution. It is a change. Huntelaar and Van der Vaart. Now who's coming off? He's not going to take Van Persie off.
No. I would think maybe Nigel de Jong and Afellay, but we'll have to wait and see.
Here's Kvist for Denmark. To Eriksson, still somewhat disappointing. Back to the captain Agger. Kvist available again. He's become a really important player. He's as much a central defender as he is a holding midfielder.
Yeah, he drops in between the two centre halves when Denmark build from the back.
Kjær.
This is what Denmark want to do, isn't it? Yeah. Plenty of possession. Played at a tempo where they can cope.
And play is slowing down. But Zimling finds Bentner onto Jakobsen. The Jakobsen cross is overhit. It's going to be still in play on the far side of the field. Van der Waal gets there before Eriksson and smashes the clearance up toward the halfway line. Agger is there for Denmark. Careful header to Simon Poulsen. Simon Poulsen forward to Bentner. Bentner holding off the defender. And Jakobsen available down the right side, and Bentner picks him out directly this time. Jakobsen has been getting forward at every opportunity.
Yeah, I just think Afellay is a little bit slow to recognise when he goes forward, and it's worked well.
On to Rommedahl. Rommedahl spins away from Willems. Crosses in toward Bentner. Too high. Might be kept in play. Oh, it's a corner conceded by Van der Waal. He wasn't sure what was going on behind him, where Krondelli was lurking, and concedes the corner.
Yeah, again, we haven't seen an awful lot of Rommedahl, but that was a good cross into an area where the goalkeeper couldn't come. It gives Denmark a corner and a little bit of breathing space.
Yeah, we're past the midway point in the second half. Holland 0, Denmark 1. Corner to Denmark. Bentner supported now by Kjær and Agger inside the penalty. Good aerial threat from the Danes. It's played in deep towards Bentner. Bentner ran to meet the ball. I think Vlaar got his head to it first. Vlaar's glancing header away towards the left side, and then Schneider hits it up towards the halfway line. I think they'd be happy if it went out of play, Denmark, but it doesn't. It's now with Jakobsen to Zimling. Good spell this from Denmark.
Yeah.
I think they're running short of ideas, Holland. And Huntelaar and Van der Vaart can't wait to get on.
Yeah, they need a bit of help from the bench, don't they, the Dutch now?
Eriksson should have won that ball, but de Jong showed more determination. It's Schneider on the halfway line, left of the centre circle. On to Willems. Willems now running at Jakobsen, running increasingly near the penalty area, into the penalty area. Oh, I don't know if he meant to do that, but he seemed to aim a kick at the ball, trying to cross it, mishit it, and now it's away with Denmark again. Rommedahl. Bentner available to his right. It goes to Bentner. Oh, poor pass back behind Rommedahl. De Jong. Huntelaar and Van der Vaart can't get on. There hasn't been a break in play. We've only got 21 minutes to go here. Denmark leading the Dutch 1-0. Here's Afellay into the penalty area, and then just ran out of things to do.
It's just not happening at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of good approach play, but the final pass, the final decision, the final dribble is not happening.
Good work.
Denmark growing in confidence.
Kvist to Bentner, just over the halfway line though, to Zimling. You can tell the confidence is seeping through the ranks now.
But you also think Denmark have sensed, haven't they? The Dutch are tired.
Krondelli with Eriksson to his right. Krondelli edge of the penalty on his right foot, shoots. Good save by Stekelenburg, behind for a corner.
Good play again against Simon Poulsen. Runs 60 yards on the overlap to create the space for Krondelli, who comes inside and hits a good shot. It's all Denmark at the moment.
And here's the change. First of all, Van der Vaart for de Jong. No surprises there. We'll go to the cricket. Pat Murphy.
West Indies resisting stoutly against the second new ball. Ramden in sight of his 8th Test match 50. He's on 49. Narine on his Test match debut 11. The 267 for 7, and we still have around half an hour's play left.
And the other change, thanks Pat, Huntelaar on for Afellay. Well, will Van Persie pull wide? Or will he try going two up?
He might go with both of them up front. We'll soon find out, won't we?
For the moment, they've got to defend a corner.
Very unusual to make substitutions when you're defending a corner. But he wanted them on, didn't he?
He had to take the opportunity. Huntelaar's back in his own 6-yard box at the moment. Here comes the corner. Right-footed. In swinging. Ran a long way. Goodness gracious. But it's gone directly behind for a goal kick to the Dutch. And we're inside the final 20 minutes.
But it was a set piece again. He bounced in the 6-yard box. The Dutch very unsure again.
Goal kick taken short by the Dutch this time.
Huntelaar through the middle. Sneijder on the left. Van Persie as playing behind Huntelaar.
Well, they've still got a terrific attacking threat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Van der Vaart is now playing sort of in between Van Bommel and Van Persie. Very attack minded.
To Kellenberg. Clears it in the direction of Robben. Robben pushed the full back, and it might fall kindly to Robben. It does. Robben towards the penalty area. Good challenge coming in from Ager. Just concentrated on winning the ball, and the captain takes it clear for Denmark, who lead 1-0, and time is running out for the Dutch. And in such a tight group, you think anybody who loses an opening game are in peril of going out.
Especially with the Dutch playing the Germans next.
Germany, Portugal later tonight. Listen to it on 5 Live on the BBC. Van Bommel, captain of Holland, World Cup finalist 2 years ago. Change coming up for Denmark. Schaars will be coming on in midfield. Sporting Lisbon player. And they'll want to get him on very quickly now. But Denmark have done exceptionally well, having conceded ground the early stage of the second half. Now the cross played into the Danish penalty area, and Jakobsen, no nonsense from him, puts it behind for a corner.
Yeah, they haven't been in a lot of trouble in the second half, Denmark. There they were, just got caught. Van der Vaart's little run in behind. Good pass.
Sneijder to take the corner. Watch out for Huntelaar, Denmark. Here comes Sneijder, right-footed toward the far post. Goalkeeper came, got both fists on the ball, punches it clear, not far clear, and that's with Robben. Robben into Van der Vaart. Van der Vaart's shot was well wide, not threatening goal. Right, who's coming off for Schaars? It's Eriksson. Well, you know, there's such promise, but hasn't delivered.
No, not enough. Not sharp enough. Doesn't take enough responsibilities on the ball. I mean, you see from time to time, he's a very clever passer.
What am I turning Schaars? Sorry, anyway, the change is Schöne.
Lasse Schöne.
Pat Murphy.
Another wicket for Graham Onions on his return to Test match cricket. He's having a good day. He's got Narine playing on, out for 11. West Indies 267 for 8.
Thank you very much, Pat. Getting me Danes, me Dutch mixed up. Schöne of Ajax on for Denmark, who lead 1-0 here. That 1-2, attempted 1-2 for Denmark didn't come off. Zemlin couldn't find Bentner. And it's flicked forward to Huntelaar into the penalty area. Goal, good save for the goalkeeper. Ball rebound to Van Persie. Huntelaar again, shoots, takes a deflection, and it's a corner. The referee's given a foul against the goalkeeper.
He gets away with that, the goalkeeper, but again it's that pass through the middle. Beautiful, great touch by Huntelaar, and you think it's an outside of the right foot. You think he's going to score, can't quite get it out from his feet. Keeper does ever so well. Van Persie comes in at the second attempt. Keeper dives at his feet, gets a little knock to his head. It was Sneijder's pass. Great first touch by Huntelaar. Goalkeeper quick off his line. Huntelaar tries to lift it over him. Keeper does ever so well.
Keeper, well done. Anderson. And I'm not sure it was a foul by Van Persie and the goalkeeper.
No,
I think he was.
But the goalkeeper knows, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Just roll down there.
Yeah.
Clutch your head. You get a free
kick. The more I
kick.
roll, I'll get it.
16 minutes to go. Van Persie was just following up Huntelaar's effort, and I'm not sure he made any contact with the goalkeeper at all. Anyway, Anderson has taken advantage of that. You see in the replay, he's screaming as if he's been mortally wounded. No, you're not. Free kick to Denmark. Oh, you're looking to hold out here for a quarter of an hour.
Predict at your peril.
Well, I think they've done far better than I expected.
They've just got so much attacking ability on the pitch, haven't they, Holland?
Yes. Ball played forward, almost breaks the Rommedahl into the penalty area. Good goalkeeping from Stekelenburg. He could easily have brought Rommedahl down.
Yeah, I don't think Willems was aware how close Rommedahl was. Weak header back to the goalkeeper, had to rush off his line.
Here's Van der Vaart inside the centre circle. A fraction under 15 minutes to go. Van Persie running forward, or that was Van Bommel rather. Didn't keep possession for Holland, but Schneider wins it back. Schneider to Van Bommel, back to Van der Vaart. Van der Vaart onto the far side of the field, and Robben down the right touchline. Robben now faced by Simon Poulsen, rather delays, wants Van der Vaart to offer an option down the right side. Van der Vaart offers that option. He crosses towards the penalty area, hits Crondelli and flicks behind for a corner, which Van der Vaart rushes across to the far side to take in front of a massed wall of orange-clad Dutch supporters. Here it comes, the corner, left-footed, in-swinging. Goalkeeper came, he got some touch on it. Not sure how deliberate it was, but it clears his penalty area. 14 minutes left. Holland trail 1-0. Schneider crosses in towards Huntelaar. Zimling was back there, hits it out of play. Throw in to Holland, taken by Schneider. Back now to Willems. Willems, excellent crossfield ball to Robben on the far side of the field. Showed a little bit too much space. Finally Poulsen reacts. Into the penalty area it goes. Van Persie back to Robben. Robben goes down, hoping to fool the referee and the assistant. Rightly doesn't get a penalty.
The problem they got there, there wasn't any room to play that 1-2 between Robben and Van Persie.
13 minutes to go. Holland 0, Denmark 1. Poulsen to take the throw in eventually. No, he's not. He's going to leave it to Kvist, and the referee's telling them to get on with it. And there may even be a yellow card here. Now, who's it for? Is that for Poulsen or Kvist?
No, it's Kvist. I mean, what they've done, well, I don't know. He could have booked either, couldn't he? Poulsen has thrown it to Kvist so he could take a long throw.
Well, just sluggish, and the referee reacted, and Kvist still hasn't taken the throw in. So we don't know which of the two was booked. One of them was.
Maybe Kvist. I know, actually, I think it was Poulsen, wasn't it? But he was the one who was time wasting by throwing the ball to
a dozen minutes to go. Here's Poulsen winning the ball midway inside the Dutch half, running towards the penalty area. Hope for a kind break that would take the ball through to Bentner. It didn't happen. But Schöne, not a good pass.
No, he was trying to be too clever, wasn't he? He was trying to look away past, trying to fool the defender. Poor pass.
Schneider down the left, Robben down the right. In between them, Van Persie and Huntelaar furthest forward. Huntelaar takes it up. Van der Vaart says, give it to me, let me take over. Good ball by Van der Vaart to Schneider. Schneider crosses in towards the far post. Agger with a header clear. Crondelli score of the only goal so far. Finds Schöne. Schöne just about holds off Van der Vaart. Back to Crondelli. Good play by Denmark. Schöne over the halfway line now. Bentner shows, but the pass is back and confirmed to Zimling. Zimling with Rommedahl down the right side. The Dutch so anxious to equalise. Beware of conceding a second goal. It's with Jakobsen, the fullback, into the penalty area. There's the low cross, but behind Bender. Oh, wretched clearance there. Now it's Zimling. Zimling should have done better with the pass. Holland have the ball back again. Van der Vaart to Schneider. No time to waste for those in orange. On to Robben on the far side of the field. Robben controls it. Poulsen was slow to get across. Slower still to make the challenge, and Robben selfishly shoots when he should have crossed. It's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, when that doesn't work, it's predictable, isn't it, Robben? Keeps dropping his shoulder, keeps coming in on his left foot. Poulsen has got the measure of him.
Confirmation, it was Simon Poulsen who was booked there by the referee, not Kvist. They'll not mind the booking. 11 minutes to go, and at the moment Denmark are taking all 3 points.
Yeah, and they're still offering a threat going forward as well, Denmark.
Is Simon Poulsen just out on his feet?
Yeah, he is.
Or did he pick up an injury?
No, I think he's out on his feet. I think he's out on his feet, Alan. But this is where you dig deep, isn't it? It's going to be a famous victory.
If it is a victory. 1967, indeed. Ball played forward, cut out there by Daniel Agger. Agger looks to the assistant saying, why wasn't the flag up against Robben? It's cleared upfield by Denmark. Rommedahl chases after it. Surely was balked there by Willems. I'm not even sure the assistant referee was looking in the right direction.
Arm across again. He knew he was beating Willems for pace. Puts his arm across Rommedahl.
10 minutes to go and 5 live in the World Service. Holland 0, Denmark 1. Holland have certainly had chances to score at least once, but they haven't. Germany and Portugal to come. Now Robben in towards Van der Vaart. Well done, Zimling, making the interception. Finds Schöne. Schöne to Rommedahl. Bentner available. Passes back though to Kvist. Kvist now to Simon Poulsen. Hasn't Daniel Agger played well?
They've been fantastic.
Look at the number of interceptions.
Players in key positions. Agger, Bentner has played well up front. Zimling has got better as the game has gone on. That is so important. And to be fair to the goalkeeper, whatever he's had to do, he's done absolutely spot on.
Apart from taking short goal kicks, which he's ill-advised to.
That's a booking handball.
Must be against Kvist for deliberate handball.
Good job he wasn't booked before then for time wasting.
Well, he has been yellow carded, Kvist. Second Danish booking in quick succession. Free kicks already taken. 9 minutes left for play here in Kharkiv at the Military Stadium. Deep cross overhit by Schneider. Van Persie was his target. Van Persie couldn't get to that. It's a goal kick. Niet vodka.
Yeah, I know.
Niet vodka.
I understand, Alan, but
and no singing of the anthem.
We might not be able to do that tonight.
Not yet. Here's Agger. Another short goal kick taken by Andersen for Denmark. Now it's hit upfield. Bentner fell over under the challenge of Heitinga, but Bentner wasn't actually claiming a free kick. He was just out-muscled. It's with Willems. 8 minutes to go. The Dutch were the favourites before the game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But Denmark still hold on to the lead given to them in the 24th minute by Krondelli,
who's also played well. He's took responsibility.
That was a poor pass by Van der Vaart. Rommedahl's pass wasn't good either when he was looking for Bentner. Now it's with Schneider. Schneider left of the centre circle, moving forward. Robben pops up on the left side for the change. Van Persie's down the right. Van der Vaart in support of Huntelaar. It's in towards Van der Vaart, but behind him, and through it goes to Andersen.
Yes, that little pass is Schneider now playing on the left with his right foot.
And he can't wait to get on. He's only got 7 or so minutes to exert an influence. I say 7 or so minutes, that's of the regular 90. But we'll have at least 2 to 3 minutes of added time. Another change coming up for Denmark. Mikkelsen, the striker, is coming on. I think Bentner has worked so hard.
Yeah, he's done ever so well. I mean, he's never looked like he was going to get a goal, has he, Alan? But he's worked hard for the team.
Yeah. We only tease you, Nicholas. It's all meant in good heart. So Mikkelsen, who is a striker, will be coming on, I think, before Kuyt. Though Van Marwijk saying, hold on a second, Kuyt was ready first. So which one will the fourth official acknowledge? Well, it's Rommedahl who's coming off. Bentner's being left on. And now for Kuyt. Oh, and the throw-in is taken by Holland before they can make the change. That's daft. Unless there's a change of heart here. Dutch coach is having a word with Van Bommel. Holland have got a little over 7 minutes to get an equalising goal, but they won't get it like that. Van der Vaart giving the ball away. Here's Kvist. Great run down the right-hand side by Mikkelsen, the substitute. Too slow to get the ball out to him. Now he's got it. He'll be fresh. He'll run at Willems. Running inside of Willems, and then Van Bommel gets across, intercepts, and Van Bommel actually backheels the ball into Mikkelsen, and it's out for a Dutch throw-in. Still Kuyt can't get on. Now he can. And it's for Van der Vaart.
Gambling.
Yep, take it on the full back, put Kuyt on. How many attacking players have they got on?
Heitinga will now go and play right.
At least 6.
Van Bommel will go into centre half.
But you've got to get the balance right at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to get some service forward for all these attacking players now.
Well, Kuyt's gone to the right side. Time running out. 6 minutes of the 90 to go. Then we'll have added time. That could be critical for Holland, who trailed Denmark 1-0 here on 5 Live, the World Service on the BBC. Ball breaks kindly for Schöne. Schöne, hits it behind Zimling. Decent pass and Zimling was through. Now, Holland counter-attack. Van Persie to Schneider. Robben's available. Goes into Huntelaar. Huntelaar's lovely little flick in the direction of Van Persie. Hit a Danish defender, and Kjær takes it away. And Kjær can come forward. He doesn't want to go too far forward, not when your team's leading 1-0. So he just passes to Bentner, and then it's played towards Mikkelsen. But Mikkelsen was in retreat. Yeah, the ball's through to Stekelenburg.
He just needs to get one of those right, don't you? The Dutch gambling everybody on the halfway line.
40 minutes played in the second half.
One good passenger away.
Van der Vaart to Heitinga. Kuyt says, give it to me. Kuyt's first involvement, no longer a Liverpool player, of course, going to play for Fenerbahce in Turkey, but the pass wasn't great, and it's cleared by by Denmark to Schöne on the far side of the field. Then he's tackled and beaten by Van der Vaart. And Holland, they still haven't got a majority of players inside the Danish half, but key ones. Huntelaar passes behind Van Persie. It's intercepted. Ball breaks to Zimling. Zimling comes forward into the centre circle. Bentner just staying deep. Takes it up now. Bentner now to Schöne. And I'm counting down the minutes. We've only got 4 of the 90 left. Then it's at least 3 minutes of added time with all the substitutions. Let's get an update in the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying.
We have Sebastian Vettel. Thank you, Alan. Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, the fastest 3 cars. We just completed the second part of qualifying with Jenson Button scrambling through by 8 thousandths of a second. He stays in the top 10. Some other less familiar names. Maldonado, the winner of the Spanish Grand Prix a few weeks ago, just had a big accident, but thankfully held himself together. He is not damaged, nor is the car's taken a bit of a hit, a rear suspension problem. But otherwise, Button and Hamilton are safely through. We have a real battle on our hands for the top 10 shootout.
That was news of qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix. We've got 3.5 minutes of the 90 here. Denmark heading for victory against Holland. Where's he going? Bentner playing the ball back into his own half to Kjaer. And despite the attacking rushes they've got on the pitch, I think the Dutch are finished.
Yeah, and this is the problem, isn't it? They can't get the ball back.
Here's Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen to Zimling. Back to Mikkelsen. It wasn't a good ball. Chris did really well, though. Made sure the ball was directed back towards his goalkeeper, Anderson. I think Portugal and Germany will be quite enjoying this, but they needn't underestimate Denmark. That's for sure. Ball's on the far side of the field to Poulsen. Back to Crondelli, scorer of the only goal. His ball into the Dutch half, straight to an orange-clad shirt. Schneider in the centre circle now. Schneider to Van der Vaart. On to Kuyt. Kuyt crosses early, but straight towards the goalkeeper. It was a poor cross from Dirk Kuyt.
No ideas.
That was just route one. Anderson clatters it upfield. Bentner jumps, putting pressure on Heitinga. Heitinga got his head to the ball. That's a good pass forward to Van der Vaart over the halfway line. Under hit by Van der Vaart. Doesn't reach Schneider. Schneider looks away in despair. And now it's with Mikkelsen. They've got 2 players on the far side, Bentner and Crondelli. But it's back with Zimling, who's been outstanding.
Yeah, he's played ever so well.
Midfield.
Slow start. Boy, he's played ever so well for the last 75 minutes.
2 minutes to go. Maybe I've underestimated stoppage time. Maybe we should be thinking of 4, not 3.
I'm thinking 2.
You're thinking of 1? You're only praying for 1, Jan.
Here goes Bentner.
Anderson is in upfield. Bentner's after it. Out comes to Kellenberg, getting to the ball first on the edge of his own penalty area. Throws it out to a plainly exhausted Van Bommel. Now Heitinga. Van Bommel didn't really want the ball back, but he got it back. Schneider. Van Bommel for the 3rd time. Now it's with Willems. Van Bommel for the 4th time. They're saying, you take the responsibility of the captain, but he's not the most constructive of players. I just think they've run out of ideas. Still, there must be a chance. Ball played forward to Huntelaar. Huntelaar takes it on his chest inside the penalty. Appeals for handball. Not given. Huntelaar chases after the Slovenian referee. But there's no question in his mind that it's not a penalty, that it wasn't a deliberate handball. Crossed in towards Van Persie again. Heads it down. Heitinga's up there. Heitinga gives the ball away. Simon Poulsen clears it. Now Crondelli. Crondelli rushing to the halfway line. Bentner says, feed it through to me. Pass didn't go his way. It's to Mikkelsen down the right side. Mikkelsen controls it. Into Schöne. Inside the final minute of the 90. Schöne to Mikkelsen. Holland 0, Denmark 1. Jakobsen to Crondelli. Crondelli will be a hero in Copenhagen tonight. Never mind Copenhagen, he'll be a hero in Kharkiv. The Dutch will be deflated, having lost their opening game. The 4th official slowly makes his way towards the touchline. He'll wait precisely until the 90 minutes are up before he tells us how much time they're going to add on. It's Mikkelsen down the far side. Mikkelsen running in field, finds Schöne, a yard outside the penalty area, shoots, hits a defender. Van Bommel then heads it back to his goalkeeper, to Kellenberg. It's just 3 minutes. belted upfield by Stekelenburg. Anderson didn't come near it. Kjær gets there first, and Kjær on the volley hits it into the crowd. Another ball thrown forward quickly for Robin to take the throw in. Robin somewhat delays. Didn't like the Schneider option. Still waits. No time to waste, Arjen. Your team's trailing 1-0. Throw goes to Van der Vaart. Left side of the penalty area. His cross hits Jonah and is behind for a corner. Schneider to take it.
Well, it's obviously as you expect, isn't it? It's desperate now from the Dutch.
Schneider tees the ball up at the quadrant. Lots of orange inside the Danish penalty area. There it goes. Header wide.
Possibly, if anything, they got into his way. Heitinga and Van Persie. Again, he was across. The goalkeeper couldn't come. He's going to take his time now, Anderson.
What are the first words of the anthem?
The air Dundiland. It is a beautiful country. And how beautiful it'll be tonight.
At the moment, Denmark are winning. My goodness, that was a good shout for a penalty and a handball.
Couldn't see it.
I didn't see it. Jakobsen put his arm out in the penalty area. Huntelaar flicking the ball back. Jakobsen seemed to handle the ball deliberately. Not a good pass forward though from Holland, but they get the ball back from a sort of rash clearance from Kjær. Now Robin to Schneider. 90 seconds of added time remain. Schneider crosses in, glancing header on just over the crossbar from Van Persie. And to the cricket, Pat Murphy.
Close of play, 280 for 8, Onions 3 for 56, rammed in 60 not out, the key factors in the last half an hour. 280 for 6 at the close.
Thank you very much, Pat. We've only got 1 minute and 10 seconds of added time remaining here. And it's a goal kick for Denmark.
It was again that cross from Schneider, wasn't it, with his right foot. Van Persie flicked it on.
Anderson hits it down the left side. Bentner, who's worked tirelessly all night, gets to the ball. Bentner, left of the penalty area, into the penalty area, chips it in. Oh, it went to a Dutchman, not a Dane, and Holland clear it to Schneider over the halfway line. 35 seconds of added time remaining. Schneider for Holland, World Cup finalist just 2 years ago, finds Kuyt. Kuyt plays it in low. Kuyt's contribution since he's come on has been awful.
Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, the substitutions have made no difference whatsoever.
25 seconds to go. Kuyt throws the ball, there's Captain Van Bommel. Deep cross in. Headed clear by Jakobsen. Referee's glanced at his watch. I can tell him there are 15 seconds to go. Robin takes it up. Robin hasn't given up. Looking to play a 1-2 with Heitinga. Didn't come off. Cleared by Denmark. Is this the final whistle? It is. What a victory for Denmark. Denmark have beaten the Dutch by 1-0 here in Kharkiv, and at the moment they top Group B.
Yeah, it's one of those nights, isn't it, for Danish football? I mean, we often talk about what you deserve and what you don't deserve in football. The matter of fact is Denmark have won 1-0 to Holland. In the end, run out of ideas. Denmark got the goal, defended as the game went on. They got better and better, looked full of energy at the end. Deserved victory.
Schneider departed down the tunnel immediately. Other Dutch players went to confront the referee. They feel they had a good shout for a penalty late on in the game. The referee disagrees, and Denmark, for the first time in 45 years, have beaten Holland. It's finished here in Kharkiv. Holland 0, Denmark 1.